Have you pressing on her chest, making it hard to breathe? In his final days, Dian's mind was already a little confused. Sometimes he would call Wan Niang's childhood name. Sometimes he would murmur, as if talking to someone in the air. Only in a few brief clear moments would he look straight at Wan Niang and use what little strength he had left to say a few serious words. One day, he gripped her hand and, in a weak voice, said, "You must keep living. Don't wait for me." The words sounded soft, but when they landed in Wan Niang's heart, they fell like a heavy stone, because in her mind, Her biggest belief in this life was, "We will meet again in the next life." She thought their promise was, in this life and in the next life, they would always be together. And now he was telling her, "Don't wait for me." A few days later, Cian passed away. That day, the room suddenly became very quiet. The cries, the footsteps, the chanting, the funeral rituals, to Wan Yan, they all sounded far away, as if behind a thick wall. At the funeral, many people tried to comfort her. When a person dies, it's like a lamp going out. You have to learn to let go. He's watching over you from heaven now. Your karmic bond is over. Just release him. But to her, these words were all empty sounds. She had only one question in her heart. What about the next life he promised me? If there really is another life, where is he now? Has he already forgotten me? For a long time after the funeral, every night, Wan Young Saturday alone in the empty room, the chair across the table, where he used to sit, would never be occupied again. She would light a small lamp and simply stare at that empty chair, while one scene played in her mind, over and over again. If I die right now too, will I see him somewhere? Will he walk towards me with that familiar smile and say, "You finally came"? This inner scene gave her a reason to keep living. I have to endure until the day we reunite. But at the same time, it slowly pulled her away from her real, present life, because nothing happening in reality could compete with that imagined moment of seeing him one more time. If you have ever lost someone very important to you, you probably understand this feeling. You think you've moved on, and life seems okay, but then you hear a certain song, or smell a certain scent, or walk through a familiar street, and the ache in your heart suddenly comes rushing back. You think you're missing that person, but often, what you're really missing is the version of yourself who existed when that person was with you. Many people say, "I just want to see them one more time." But if you quietly ask yourself, what is it that I really want to see again? Is it that specific person? Or is it the feeling I had when I was with them? That sense of being loved, safe, and cherished. Buddhism does not help us run away from this question. Sometime later, Wan Young heard people talk about stories like these. Some children, from a very young age, say strange things, as if they remember another life. Some great masters can recognize someone as the rebirth of a person who has passed away. Slowly, a thought arose in her heart. What if Xian really has been reborn? What if he is somewhere in this world right now? What if I could find him? From then on, she began to ask around. Wherever there was a famous temple, wherever someone was telling stories about rebirth, she would go there. She asked monks, after a person dies, how long does it take to be reborn? How can you tell if a child is someone's past life rebirth? Some people comforted her. As long as you recite the Buddha's name sincerely and dedicate the merit to him, you will meet again one day. Others spoke more bluntly. Even if rebirth is real, even if he truly has taken a new body, you might not recognize him at all. Of course, she was not satisfied with that answer, so she began looking for any tiny sign. If she heard that some child was strangely close and affectionate to her, she would pay special attention. If she heard that some child kept having the same dream, she would secretly wonder, could that be him? But time after time, all of these possibilities turned out to be nothing more than her own projection. The stories ended. The children grew up, and life continued as usual. Only her attachment grew heavier and heavier. In this lifetime, I must see him again, no matter who he has become, no matter what he looks like now. Now, imagine taking this story to the Buddha and asking, "Dear Buddha, My greatest wish in this life is simply to see the one I love most one more time. Please don't tell me too many high teachings. Just tell me plainly, do I still have a chance to meet him again? The Buddha would not simply say yes. He would not directly say no either, because in Buddhism, the real question is not, will we meet again? The real question is, the me you are talking about, and the him you are talking about, what exactly are they? Buddhism teaches non-self-enmity. Many people are afraid when they hear this. They think it means, I don't exist. Everything is empty, but that's not what it means. Non-self does not mean nothing exists. It means this. We assume there is a fixed, unchanging me, who is exactly the same, from birth to death. But if you really think about it, your body has been changing constantly, from a child to a teenager, to an adult to middle age. Every day, your cells are renewing. Your thoughts have been changing too. What you felt was incredibly important 10 years ago might mean almost nothing to you now. So when you say, this is me, which moment of you are you talking about? That's why Buddhism says, there is no permanent, unchanging self that you can hold on to forever. What we call me is actually just a flowing process of body and mind, constantly changing under different causes and conditions. You can picture me as a river, the river you saw as a child, and the river you see 10 years later. You might say, this is the same river, but the water, it has never been the same water. Even for one moment, we give this ever-flowing water a single name and call it that river. In Buddhism, me is something like that. Once you see this, Buddhism will then ask, so when you say, after I die, I want to see him again, is the me who wants to see him still the same me in your memory? And is the him you're so attached to still the same as the one in your memory? Then what continues after death? Buddhism says, it is not a little soul jumping from one body to another. What truly continues are karma and tendencies, our actions and our deeply ingrained habits. It's like throwing a stone into a lake. The stone sinks, but the ripples on the surface spread out, ring after ring. Every action, every choice, every intense emotion and thought is like throwing another stone into the water of our life. One day, the body will stop. One day, the name will disappear. But these ripples do not disappear right away. They keep spreading, colliding, and forming new patterns. This ongoing process is what Buddhism calls the continuation of karma. From this point of view, when Wanyan says she wants to see Zien again, what she truly wants to meet is not just that particular body or some fixed soul. She wants to once again feel the karmic connection that made her feel loved, protected, and deeply chosen. In other words, what she cannot let go of is that feeling of, I am worthy of being loved like this. If you're missing someone right now, you can also quietly ask yourself, what is it that I truly cannot let go of? Is it that person? Or is it the version of myself who felt most alive and most loved when I was with them? From the perspective of rebirth, if two people have very deep karmic connections, whether of gratitude and kindness, or of pain and resentment, there is a strong chance they will meet again in future lives. But this meeting again may not look the way you imagine. Maybe you will be spouses again. Maybe you will be parent and child. Maybe you will be friends, co-workers, or simply strangers passing by each other on the street. When that happens, will you recognize them? For Buddhism, the more important question is not, will you recognize them at first sight? The more important question is, when that sense of familiarity, attraction, or unexplained strong emotion arises again, will you respond to it with more clarity, less clinging, and more wisdom than you did in your past life. That is what truly matters in the cycle of birth and death. Let's return to our story. Many years passed. Wan Young no longer ran everywhere, searching for signs of rebirth. She slowly began to accept that perhaps in this lifetime, she would never see him again, but she still couldn't fully let go. So she began doing one simple thing. Every day, she recited the Buddha's name and dedicated all merits to Zian. She no longer prayed, "Let me find you again," but instead prayed, "Wherever you are, may you suffer a little less and have a little more peace." One day, she was volunteering at the temple, boiling water, sweeping, arranging offerings. It was afternoon. Sunlight fell into the courtyard. From under the eaves, a few children were running around and playing. One little boy got tired and Saturday on the steps. He picked up a leaf from the ground, held it up against the light, looked at it carefully, then turned his head and smiled at Wan Yang. Just that one look, and Wan Yang's heart suddenly trembled. That sense of familiarity came unexpectedly, but it was very gentle. Her eyes filled with tears at once, but this time, she did not rush over, did not grab the child and ask, "Are you Zian? Do you remember who you were in your past life?" She simply walked over, gently patted the boy's head, and like many elders do, softly said, "You must grow up well." Now, you might ask, was that little boy really Zian reborn? From the viewpoint of science, we have no way to prove it. From the viewpoint of Buddhism, the truly important point is not was he or wasn't he. What really mattered was this. In that moment, the tight knot in her heart, that desperate insistence, "I must find you again," loosened just a little. She realized, even if I don't know where you are, I can still bless you, miss you, and let you go a little bit, instead of clinging to you with everything I have. After she went home, Wan Young knelt before the Buddha and bowed 3 times. She prayed, "Dear Buddha, if that child really is him, please protect him and let him live a safe, peaceful life. If that child is not him, please also protect him and let him live a safe, peaceful life. As for me, whether I can see him again in this lifetime or not, it no longer feels so important." That night, she slept very soundly. For the first time in many years, she did not run around in her dreams, searching for someone's figure. Instead, she simply slept through the night. There is a line in Buddhism: if our emotions were not so heavy, we would not be born into this world of suffering. We come to this world because of love, hate, attachment, and refusal to let go. But Buddhism also tells us our emotions can gradually be transformed. Love that clings and wants to possess can slowly be lifted up into something wider and gentler. What we call compassion. Compassion is not about feeling morally superior and saying, "I forgive you because I'm better than you." Compassion means I am willing to loosen the demand that you must stay by my side and instead say, "Wherever you are, I sincerely wish you well." When someone's heart shifts from "I must see you again" to "may you be happy wherever you are," their relationship with the whole world quietly begins to change. Now, let's return to the question we started with. After we die, can we still reunite with the ones we love most? If you want a guaranteed, romantic answer, yes, absolutely. Don't worry at all. Buddhism may disappoint you a little. The answer Buddhism gives is more complex, but also more honest. First, in Buddhism there is no fixed, unchanging me and them, spinning around in the cycle of rebirth. Second, what truly continues are the karmic forces and connections between us, the good we have done together, the harm we've caused, and the lessons we still have to learn. Third, as long as these karmic ties remain, some kind of meeting is almost inevitable, but such a meeting might not look like the scene you are imagining now. Not necessarily an embrace on some road of the dead, not necessarily recognizing each other at first sight, crying and holding each other again. It may simply be meeting someone in an ordinary moment, feeling a deep, wordless familiarity, or living through something that moves you to your core and quietly saying inside, "So, this is how it is." For Buddhism, the key question is not, will we meet again in the next life? The key question is, while we are still alive, while we still have a chance to see each other, have we truly cherished this person? And after we can no longer see them, have we learned how to bless them and how to keep living well ourselves? If right now you are missing someone who has already left this world, you can try 3 small things. First, if you still have the chance to say thank you, I'm sorry, or I love you to someone who is still alive, try not to delay it. Many people do not lose because there is no next life. They lose because, in this life, they always think there will be more time, a better moment later. Second, if that person has already gone, find a quiet time in your heart or in front of a Buddha statue. Speak to them. I really miss you. I once deeply resented fate for taking you away from me, but now I am willing to respect your departure. I will carry the kindness and the warmth you left me, and do my best to live well. You may find that as you say these words, it hurts a lot. Tears may keep falling, but slowly, this pain will start to change into a kind of strength, gently pushing you to keep walking forward in a life without them. Third, if you believe in karma and rebirth, you can do a small good deed in their name, even something simple, a genuine blessing, a clear recitation of the Buddha's name, or a small act of kindness dedicated to them. May the merit of this act go to you. You don't know exactly where this goodness will go, but like a stone thrown into water, it will always create ripples. These ripples will come back to you and also to the shared karmic field between you and them. Somewhere you cannot see, maybe they are already receiving a little bit more light because of your sincere heart. Maybe one day, when you have also reached the end of this life, you will meet someone at some unknown time and place who feels very familiar. You may only pass by each other, or you may exchange a glance, or you may naturally sit down and talk for a while. In that moment, you may not think about past lives and rebirth at all. You will only feel, with this person, my heart feels very at ease. You don't need to rush to ask, were you someone I loved in a past life? You just need to know. No meeting is completely without reason. A real reunion is not about replaying the past, scene for scene. A real reunion is this. Through countless meetings and partings, you finally learn not to use grabbing and possessing to prove that I love you. When you are willing to live like this, then even if you never see that person again in this life, what lies between you has already become a very deep, very quiet meeting of hearts. So, after we die, can we still reunite with the ones we love most? Perhaps the answer is, as long as karma has not yet ended, we will surely meet again, somewhere, in some form, through some pair of eyes. And when you learn how to let go with love, you may realize that in this very life, through every encounter and farewell, we have already reunited with each other again and again.